got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. Where you from? 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 Don't stop. 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 Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. One more time.
West side,
Make it hot.
east side,
Make it hot.
south side,
Make it hot.
both sides.
Make it hot.
West side,
Make it hot.
east side,
Make it hot.
south side,
Make it hot.
both sides.
Make it hot.
One more time. Say it loud.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got.
Who's running this club?
Diamond K.
Who's running this club?
Diamond K. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on ONFIRE-TV.com is where you go. Wow, a lot of things going on. Who is trying to stop us? We are at the end of day two. The end of day two for the DNC, and it was a lively evening in Chicago. We got to see the Obamas. We got to see the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. And I had really not seen him speak a lot. I mostly have seen him by Kamala Harris's side. That is her husband of 10 years. And so, we got to see his son brought him out. And, we got to see an extended speech from Doug. And, I thought it was good. I thought he was likable. He came off as likable. I thought he did. And, there were a lot of others. The governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, was someone that also spoke. And that was was good, and we're having a lot of problems here. What's going on there? Yeah, so we got to see the first gentleman. I'm sorry, the second gentleman, the first second gentleman. Right? It's interesting they call him it the first second gentleman. So we got to see that, and so there was a lot of surprises. Lil Jon was not expecting to see Lil Jon performing tonight. But we got to see Lil Jon. That was interesting. But the convention's second day followed a very eventful Monday that saw the surprise entrance of Kamala Harris and speeches from, of course, high-profile names like President Biden. That was on day one. Now, day two, there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. We saw some really outstanding speeches, of course. Michelle Obama never one to disappoint. But the Obamas closing out the night. And the crowd naturally was raucous. The crowd was into it. Mostly these things are ceremonial, right? This is a ceremony that happens, and it is something to get the Democrats energized. Get the Democrats energized. But President Obama made it clear, and Michelle Obama and others made it clear that it is a difficult fight ahead. What do we mean? This election is not over, and there is a lot more of the race to run. And folks are not making any, there's no false pretenses here that this is going to get ugly. Ugly from the standpoint of MAGA folks are going to continue to try to throw dirt, to try to throw negativity at the feet of Kamala Harris. Michelle Obama said that America, hope is making a comeback. Hope is making a comeback, she said. And I think that is an accurate statement. It's an accurate statement. She really tore into Donald Trump. Now, this was a very sharp shift from her 2016 convention speech, where she told party goers, when they go low, we go high. Yeah, so she was on some different stuff, thankfully, because that's not where it is. That's not where we are right now. And I thought that was something that she needed to say. I'm glad that she said it. And there was a lot. She also introduced her husband, Barack Obama, and he had some words. Let's listen to a little bit of what the former president had to say. He gave Joe Biden his props.
Now, the torch has been passed. Now it is up to all of us to fight for the America we believe in. And make no mistake, it will be a fight. For all the incredible energy we've been able to generate over the last few weeks, for all the rallies and the memes, this will still be a tight race in a closely divided country. A country where too many Americans are still struggling, where a lot of Americans don't believe government can help. And as we gather here tonight, the people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question.
Now, of course, President Obama is charismatic. He's somebody that knows how to throw shots at Donald Trump and really get under his skin. I'm sure that Trump is in his feelings about what former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama had to say about him. Let's continue to hear. This, of course, is Barack Obama.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has
Now, that's true. He has not shut up.
been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala.
One of the reasons why Donald Trump is going to debate Kamala Harris is because the cowardice in him won't allow for him to back down in this moment. And even though she is going to present a much greater challenge than Joe Biden ever could, Donald Trump is going to have no choice but to debate her. We'll continue listening to Barack Obama.
There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day, I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president,
Yeah, that's different.
it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends.
Right.
He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his rich friends. He killed a bipartisan immigration deal written in part by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress.
Here's the thing about that, and this is not talked about enough. And if Republicans, these MAGA Republicans, if they really cared about what was happening at the border, and definitely the border needs to be gotten in order. If they really cared about the border, then there would be no excuse as to why they would stop the legislation from coming through. But they're just mindless followers in this cult. Continue with the former president, Barack Obama.
That would have helped secure our southern border because he thought trying to actually solve the problem would hurt his campaign.
Right.
He doesn't.
This is not the type of leader. This is not the type of leader that you need. This is not the type of leader that America needs. Donald Trump only cares about himself. But I hoped that anytime the crowd started to boo, that Barack Obama would say this line.
Do not boo. Vote.
Right. Don't boo, vote. He has not lost a step. He has not lost a step.
He doesn't seem to care if more women lose their reproductive freedom since it won't affect his life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them.
Now, the country is divided, and I wouldn't say that it's hopelessly divided. I have a lot of friends who are Republicans. I have a lot of friends who are what they call MAGA Republicans. A lot of friends like that. And we can have conversations, we can talk, and it's all good. How's it going? And it is all good. But Barack Obama continues.
The real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't.
Right. Of course.
And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer.
Right.
If you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place.
Right.
It is one of the oldest tricks in politics. From a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
You see, the level of charisma that Barack Obama has, Joe Biden, just all the time that he was his vice president, he didn't pick up on none of this. Yeah, he didn't pick up on none of his charisma. All right, we're listening to Barack Obama, the Democratic National Convention Day 2, finished off with the keynote speech of former President Barack Obama.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story.
Yeah.
We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Yes. A lot of people say that America is not ready for a female president, but I think that they are ready.
And Kamala Harris is ready for the job.
She is.
This is a person who has spent her life fighting on behalf of people who need a voice and a champion. As you heard from Michelle, Kamala was not born into privilege.
Right.
She had to work for what she's got.
All is good.
And she actually cares about what other people are going through.
She does.
She's not the neighbor running the leaf blower. She's the neighbor rushing over to help when you need a hand.
And that's what we need. Do you think that Donald Trump really wants to help this country? No, he does not. 2024 Democratic National Convention. We are listening to the former President Barack Obama.
As a prosecutor, Kamala stood up for children who had been victims of sexual abuse.
Yes.
As an attorney general of the most populous state in the country,
California,
she fought big banks and for-profit colleges.
Yeah.
Securing billions of dollars for the people they had scammed. After the home mortgage crisis, she pushed me and my administration hard to make sure homeowners got a fair settlement. Didn't matter that I was a Democrat. Didn't matter that she had knocked on doors for my campaign in Iowa. She was going to fight to get as much relief as possible for the families who deserved it.
Yes, here, this is a very important part. Barack Obama is trying to explain that it is okay if you disagree with someone who's of the same party as you, when the goal is to help your constituents. And so he's talking about that here. And there have been folks that have, the folks that are really advocates for the Palestinians and what's going on over in Gaza, that are Democrats, but disagree with President Biden's approach to it. But understand this, that Donald Trump has expressed his, unity with Israeli Benjamin Netanyahu. Right. And so if you elect Donald Trump and you're somebody who's talking about this Palestine genocide in Gaza, Donald Trump is not the answer. Donald Trump's not the answer. Now we're listening to former President Barack Obama.
As vice president, she helped take on the drug companies to cap the cost of insulin.
Right.
Lower the cost of health care. Give families with kids a tax cut. And she is running for president with real plans to lower costs even more and protect Medicare and Medicaid and sign a law to guarantee every woman's right to make her own health care decisions.
I hope that Kamala Harris brings it on Thursday. Thursday is her day. Tomorrow we're going to see Bill Clinton. We're going to see her vice presidential pick, the governor, Tim Walz. We're going to see him tomorrow. But this is all building towards Kamala Harris and her acceptance speech on Thursday. A lot of folks up here making the case for Kamala Harris. And the keynote speaker tonight was President Barack Obama, who did an amazing job as always. I've never heard President Obama give a bad speech. We continue. Doug Emhoff, and you can see the Democratic faithful
Kamala
excited.
Harris won't be focused on her problems.
No.
She'll be focused on yours. As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee.
Definitely a Donald Trump thing, kissing the ring.
She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is. And in the White House, she will have an outstanding partner in Governor Tim Walz.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I love this guy.
Yeah, Obama right now is talking about Tim Walz, and he does this. You know, he's poking fun and showing why he is such a great speaker. But listen to more of President Obama.
Tim is the kind of person who should be in politics.
Absolutely.
Born in a small town, served his country, taught kids, coached football, took care of his neighbors. He knows who he is, and he knows what's important. You can tell those flannel shirts he wears don't come from some political consultant. They come from his closet.
Well, yeah,
like they have been through some stuff. They have been through some stuff. That's right.
So what is he talking about here? President Obama is talking about the fact that a lot of these politicians have political consultants who tell them how they're supposed to dress. Here, put this on. Here, you need to wear this. Put this hat on. Put this jacket on. And President Obama is saying that the Governor Walz, is the real thing. Like, he's really authentic, and who he says and who he presents as is the real deal. That's what the president is saying.
Together, Kamala and Tim have kept faith with America's central story.
Absolutely.
A story that says we are all created equal.
Of course, we are listening to former President Barack Obama talking at the 2024 Democratic National Convention. Of course, shout out to all our folks on YouTube, all our folks on Spotify, all our folks on Apple, folks on Instagram, on TikTok, of course, at ONFIRE-TV. We're continuing to listen to Barack Obama.
All of us endowed with certain inalienable rights.
Terry T, what's going on, brother? Oh yeah, I'm up doing we had the Democratic National Convention, and we streamed that, and we are talking about the goings on. So yes, that's why I'm up. What are you doing up?
Everyone deserves a chance that even when we don't agree with each other,
2 a.m. on the East Coast, y'all,
find a way to live with each other. That's Kamala's vision. That's Tim's vision. That's the Democratic Party's vision. And our job over the next 11 weeks is to convince as many people as possible to vote for that vision.
Of course, they want folks to get involved. You can text JOIN to 30330. That is text JOIN 30330. Absolutely. Behind the scenes promotion work. Shout out to Terry T Productions. And oh, definitely send me that new commercial. I need that new commercial for the all black party. That's gonna be a movie. That's gonna be a movie. Shout out Terry T Productions. If not the biggest promoter in the city, he is one of them. I mean, he's probably the biggest. He's probably the biggest now, right? Definitely. Shout out Terry T. Barack Obama continues.
Now, it won't be easy. The other side knows it's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt, that sacrifice and generosity are for suckers.
Yes, that is what they say.
Since the game is rigged, it's okay to take what you want and just look after your own. That's the easy path. We have a different task.
Absolutely.
Our job is to convince people that democracy can actually deliver.
Now, democracy can deliver. Democracy will deliver if we have the right person in the office. Now, of course, President Obama warning of the difficult fight ahead. Of course, President Barack Obama, the first Black president in U.S. history, he insisted that the nation is ready to elect Kamala Harris, who is of Jamaican and Indian heritage and would be the nation's first female president. He also called Trump a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalators 9 years ago. So it has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that have actually gotten worse now that he is afraid he's going to lose to Kamala. President Obama said, and this was a fiery message. The message that Michelle Obama delivered, the message that Barack Obama delivered. I mean, the Democrat Party brought out some of their big stars, and they really wanted to communicate the urgency of the moment. This is a very, very urgent moment. So if she is going to be successful, Kamala Harris is going to be successful in defeating Donald Trump this fall, there is going to have to be a unification of the Democratic Party. And they seem unified right now. They have seemed unified. There was all this talk. It's going to be all these protests. It's going to be chaos. We haven't seen any of that. We haven't seen any of that. The theme for the evening was the bold vision for America's future. Now, the factions are, folks are going to say whatever they're going to say. But this is a unified group. And going into the DNC, I don't know, a month and a half ago, I was unsure where things stood. Trump has no empathy. Trump has no morals. Trump has no fidelity to the truth. He doesn't feel any connection with the truth. That is true. We saw Senator Chuck Schumer tonight. We saw Bernie Sanders tonight. They gave speeches where they praised Harris, and I have definitely had problems with Bernie Sanders in the past. I didn't think that Bernie Sanders delivered the right tone of his speech in 2016 when he conceded to Hillary Clinton. It didn't seem like he did that. Not a good job. But as Democrats address the nation from Chi-Town, Kamala Harris faced an estimated 15,000 people in the battleground state of Wisconsin in the arena where Republicans held their convention last month. Oh yeah, she's doing them like that. She said that she is running a people-powered campaign. Let me say that again. She is running, Kamala Harris says that she is running a people-powered campaign. She said that together we will chart a new way forward. The vice president's remarks that were partially broadcast to the DNC tonight. A future for freedom, opportunity, of optimism, and of faith. Yes. And this is only the second night. So we're halfway through. We're halfway through the Democratic National Convention. And there were talks from the Republicans. This is going to be like a party, like a rock star atmosphere. And we saw some entertainers. Now, of course, there wasn't 80s folks like Hulk Hogan, right? We didn't see Hulk Hogan come out, but we saw rapper Common, musician Jonathan McReynolds, Patti LaBelle. We saw Lil Jon. I was not expecting to see Lil Jon. Let me tell you that. We saw Lil Jon, and there were a lot of surprises, a lot of things. And the night, the week isn't over. The night's over, but the week is not over. So there is more, but definitely Lil Jon coming out to help the Georgia delegation announce its votes for Harris. That was interesting. That was interesting. And so you want to mix it up because you don't want a whole evening of just speeches and monotony. You want to have it up and down. You want to have ebbs and flows. But sometimes, especially folks that don't understand politics or these type of events, will say, "Why you got Meg Thee Stallion? Why you got Lil Jon? Why you got?" They'll say that they don't understand the need to have an event. That, right? Any party has ebbs and flows, ups and downs. You don't want, if you own the club, you don't want the people on the dance floor all night. You want them to be on the dance floor, come off the dance floor, get some drinks, mingle around, go back on it. You want it up and down, and that is definitely something that they tried to do here tonight at the DNC. So we got to see Barack Obama. We got to see some of the heavy hitters. I was glad to see Angela Also Brooks, who is running for office here in Maryland. But for the most part, this is a symbolic roll call, right? They already know that they're voting for Kamala, and the delegates are pledging their support to the Democratic nominee. But they also turned that into a party atmosphere. They had a DJ on stage, and DJ Cassidy was up there at different parts of the evening playing a mix of state-specific songs. So it was interesting. When we heard "Turn Down for What," come on, the crowd of the thousands of folks were really excited. And as I said, various speakers offered their personal stories about Harris. Everybody seemed genuine. She's largely unknown to many voters. So we have all of these folks that are explaining how she is, and they're explaining a little bit of their story and saying how that relates to Kamala Harris, because they want folks to understand that she came from humble beginnings like most folks in this country. And she's somebody that you can relate to. And so that is the fact that she served as a senator in California, a DA, attorneys general, vice president, but still is largely unknown to many voters. That is good and it is bad. And we don't have a lot of time to find out, but you got a general idea. But I thought that it was touching, the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, talking about how he met Kamala Harris. They met on a blind date. Somebody set them up. I did not know that. And he talked about her cooking habits, and I've heard her talk about her cooking habits. He talked about their first date, her laugh, which is often mocked by Republican critics, but it is something that she has embraced, and a lot of the country is embracing, and that is her laugh. That laugh. I love that laugh, her husband said as the crowd cheered. Later, he said that her empathy is her strength. Trump, meanwhile, was out on the campaign trail as part of his swing state tour during the DNC. He went to Michigan today and stood aside the sheriff's deputies as he labeled Harris the ringleader of the Marxist attack on law enforcement across the country. It is so interesting that he's calling her a communist and all these things that Vladimir Putin is. It's interesting, right? Anyway, he went and did his normal shtick about how Kamala is going to deliver crime and chaos and destruction and death. He's doing the fear thing, and the Democrats are doing the joy thing. Very interesting. Barack Obama's speech tonight made perhaps the most forceful case for the model as a logical step forward for the bitterly divided nation. They're reaching out to folks on the other side and saying that just because we disagree on politics does not mean that we are enemies. Does not mean that we are enemies. The new way forward for this modern society, as opposed to the divisive, old, and tired strategy being offered by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans right now. I was very surprised that Michelle Obama also addressed race directly. She jabbed Trump, referencing a comment that he made in the June debate, talking about the black job. So I definitely like the fact that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama took the gloves off. These are like bare knuckle brawl. Donald Trump is nervous, and Barack Obama returning to the convention stage 20 years after making his first appearance at a national convention back in 2004. That was the appearance in Boston. That was the one that propelled him into the national spotlight. So it was definitely interesting seeing this full circle moment. And this was 4 years before his own successful presidential run. But he definitely praised Joe Biden, who ended his reelection bid last month and endorsed Kamala Harris. It was an emotional thing for Joe Biden. Absolutely. I wish it hadn't been such a public thing. How's it going? And I wish it had not been such a public thing with regards to them forcing Joe Biden to step down. I wish it could have been a little bit more behind the scenes. But I think that, the fact that it was public, it has its good and bad points. So I mean, it's up and down. I think that what we saw yesterday from President Obama, from Joe Biden, was his farewell address for the most part. He's going to get other times, but maybe one other big opportunity to say farewell to the nation. But it was an interesting evening. It was a interesting evening. And, the vice president, as I said, so she was in Milwaukee in the same arena that the Republicans had their convention in last month. So there was Harris. She argued that Trump threatens the values and freedoms that Americans hold dear. I think that, when you talk about democracy being on the line, some folks don't. It may not resonate with them, but the word freedom resonates with them, and they understand their freedoms. I think that they understand that their freedoms are at risk under another Trump presidency. Someone with the record like Trump, Harris said, should never again have the opportunity to stand behind the seal of the president of the United States. That is what she said. And she's going to continue to hammer home that message. That's going to be her thing. That is definitely going to be her thing, to try to hammer home the message that Trump is no good for America. As night 2 came to a close, I could not help but be, energized. So we have 2 more nights. And of course, we've been streaming the DNC at ONFIRE-TV.com. I am excited as to what is to come. I'm excited to see the energy continue to build because the energy has been building. Obama told the DNC to fight for the America that we believe in. Fight for the America that we believe in. And the president, former President Obama, closing out night two, telling that excited crowd, his wife saying that hope is making a comeback. Because you let Donald Trump tell it that everything is all lost and it's only he can fix everything. So we will see. The convention continues Wednesday for day 3, and I'm looking forward to it. So the DNC roll call featured that musical salute to each state. We got to see Cole Imhoff, who spoke kindly of his Kamala Harris. We saw, of course, Bernie Sanders, who called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. And it's just so interesting. I'd love to see a ceasefire in Gaza as well. I would. But the fact that folks protest, if you go back to Vietnam, right? We had soldiers fighting in Vietnam. I understood that. We do not have soldiers, boots on the ground in Gaza, but it is something that is important to a big part of the country, a loud part of the country. But there are so many domestic issues that I wish that they were speaking loud about, but they want to speak super loud about these overseas issues. It's interesting. DNC, there was big energy speeches tonight. Of course, big energy speeches. But the call for unity, empathy, and more continued throughout the evening. And I think that it's going to continue into day 3. National uncommitted organizers did urge Kamala Harris to set a new path on her Gaza policy. Now, she has not been able to influence policy. As the vice president, you do not influence policy. But it is going to continue. We have these folks that have we have domestic problems, and then we have if you want to call them problems, but we have domestic problems. Now, just because we have not solved all of our domestic problems doesn't mean that we don't take a look around the world, see what's going on. But there's this thing called perspective. And one thing that I'm a progressive, but one thing that I really don't like about progressives is sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, right? You have these constituents and you're going to want to get reelected, but your focus is so much overseas and you can lose sight of what's happening or not happening stateside. I don't know. It's just, I understand that the Democrats and progressives and maybe independents have this thought, oh my God, it's this Gaza this, Ukraine that. I get it. But especially during election time, I think that the main focus should be domestic issues. It should be. Maybe I'm crazy. maybe I'm crazy, but I don't understand. I don't understand that part. Of course, I want peace, and we've always wanted peace in the Middle East. All right, this has been the goal since I don't know how long. People were saying peace in the Middle East before they even. I'm talking about back Grenada in the 80s. People have been saying peace in the Middle East for a long time. Now, is the reality there's going to be peace in the Middle East? I don't know. Do these foreign wars need to weigh in so heavily on our elections? I don't know. I don't think that Gaza, Palestine, that war is going to be the top or deciding issue in this presidential election. I don't. But let's look at the principles here. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. Who do you think between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who do you think is going to be a better friend to the folks of Gaza? It is absolutely Kamala Harris. Absolutely. Right? We want the war to end, and there's been, in a war, there's death on both sides. Right? And, but I think that our economy, I think that, some of our freedoms, these should be the top issues. These should be the top issues in the election. And Donald Trump has successfully engaged a lot of MAGA folks that were not previously voting. And when Donald Trump exits the stage, they're not going to be voting after that. These are his voters, right? And many of them are, just they're not totally educated on the issues. And so whatever Trump says, they just go with that. But there's a lot that we have to do, and we don't have a lot of time to do it in. It was great to see President Obama, and it was great to see Michelle Obama make their case for Vice President Kamala Harris. Tomorrow, going into day 3, as I said, we have a lot to look forward to. We are going to see former President Bill Clinton. We are going to see the governor of Minnesota, Governor Walz, who is the vice presidential pick. We're going to be streaming, of course, at ONFIRE-TV.com. And I'm going to come in after tomorrow's day 3, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to play some of the highlights. We're going to talk about everything that we can see. So I'm going to be here. Definitely want to know your thoughts. Did you think that this day 2 of the DNC sent the right message? Did it send the wrong message? Do you think that Democrats are on a roll? Are they crashing and burning? Or like what is going on? Definitely want to know. Of course, djdiamondk at gmail.com. Very easy to get in touch with me. And of course, you want to support On Fire TV, what we do here. PayPal.me/Radio On Fire. Of course, on Cash App, I'm $ The Diamond K Show. You can become a member today, get exclusive content on ONFIRE-TV.com/join, and you can subscribe at YouTube.com/djdiamondk. And you can do that for free. Just hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I am DJ Diamond K. And of course, you want to advertise your product, service, or event with On Fire TV. Sponsorship can include on-air mentions, social media posts, and digital commercials with links pointing back to your product. So get in touch with us on ONFIRE-TV.com. I will be back here tomorrow. We have a couple of special guests tomorrow. So that is before the DNC takes place. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely check us out. And as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow.
Who's running this club? Diamond K, Diamond K, Diamond. Who's running this club? Diamond K, Diamond K, Diamond, Diamond K, Diamond K, Diamond, Diamond K, Diamond K, Diamond.